Jupiter has entered Leo. What will change for us all? Have you ever noticed how sometimes in life it seems like a new window of opportunity opens? It's as if events begin to unfold more easily. You feel the urge to dream bigger, act more boldly, and the world seems to be pushing you toward change. In astrology, such periods are often associated with the movement of Jupiter, the planet considered a symbol of good fortune, growth, and great prospects. One such period is beginning right now. Jupiter is moving into Leo, and this event promises to be one of the most striking astrological transits of the near future. But what does this mean in practice? Why do many astrologers say that this is the beginning of a time for bold people, vibrant personalities, and those ready to make a statement to the world? And most importantly, how will this transit affect your zodiac sign? First, let's recall what Jupiter represents. In astrology, Jupiter is called the planet of great happiness. Of course, this doesn't mean that after its passage, money will literally fall from the sky or all your wishes will come true. Jupiter works differently. It expands everything it touches. If a person is ready to develop, new opportunities arise. If they study hard, their knowledge begins to yield real results. If they aren't afraid to take responsibility, new horizons open up. Imagine a gardener coming into your garden and starting to water the very plants that are already growing. If you've long nurtured your dreams, developed your talents, and never given up in the face of difficulties, Jupiter can accelerate this process. But if you haven't planted anything, expecting a bountiful harvest will be much more difficult. This is why astrologers often say, Jupiter brings not random luck, but opportunities. And whether to seize them or pass them by is up to each person. Now let's talk about the sign of Leo. Leo is the energy of the sun. It represents creativity, leadership, self-confidence, the stage, recognition, charisma, and the desire to make their mark on this world. When Leo's energy is expressed harmoniously, a person inspires others, becomes a role model for others, reveals their talents, and is not afraid to be themselves. But every energy has a downside. Sometimes Leo can become overly proud, overly dependent on others' admiration, or begin to prove their exceptionalism to everyone. Therefore, during this transit, it is very important to remember one simple truth. A true leader is not the one who talks loudest about themselves, but the one who knows how to inspire others. When Jupiter conjuncts Leo's energy, the world seems to begin to reward courage. Many people will feel the desire to start their own business, take a new job, create a creative project, launch a blog, open a business, make a public statement, or finally do something they've been putting off for a long time. This is a wonderful time for artists, teachers, entrepreneurs, executives, bloggers, and anyone whose work involves public exposure. But there's one important caveat. Jupiter magnifies absolutely everything, not just strengths, but weaknesses as well. If a person is self-confident, their confidence will grow stronger. If they're prone to arrogance, their arrogance may also increase. If they like to take risks without calculation, the risk will become even greater. That's why the main advice of this period is, dream big, but don't lose your common sense. Now let's look at what this transit can bring to each zodiac sign. Aries. An incredibly inspiring period is beginning for Aries. Jupiter seems to ignite an inner fire that's been waiting for its moment. If you felt like life has become too predictable in recent months, now you're experiencing a desire to take action, create, and win. This period will be especially favorable for those involved in creative endeavors, public speaking, sports, or running your own business. The world seems to be beginning to notice your strengths. People are more likely to pay attention to your ideas, and casual acquaintances can develop into useful business connections. If you've long dreamed of starting your own business, creating a YouTube channel, starting a social media presence, or showing off your talents, now seems to be the universe's way of saying, now's the time. Pleasant changes are also possible in your personal life. Single Aries may meet someone who will inspire them to a completely new stage in their lives. And those already in relationships will feel the romance return. However, it's important to remember, Leo's energy can heighten the desire to always be first. Avoid turning any communication into a competition. Sometimes it's more important to listen to others than to prove yourself right. The more you inspire others rather than compete with them, the stronger Jupiter's support will be. Taurus. For Taurus, this transit will touch on themes of home, family, and inner stability. Perhaps now will be the time to renovate, buy a new home, move, or finally create a space you truly want to live in. Many Taurus will feel the time has come to strengthen their relationships with loved ones. Old family conflicts can gradually fade into the past if both parties are open to dialogue. Furthermore, now may be the time for you to understand the importance of emotional security. Money and success will remain important, but inner peace will take center stage. It's possible that a relative will play an important role in your life or help you make a serious decision. However, be careful with excessive spending. Jupiter can sometimes create the feeling that financial possibilities are limitless. You'll want to buy the most beautiful, expensive, and prestigious items. However, wise planning will be far more beneficial than impulsive purchases. This period is reminiscent of building a sturdy house. The more reliable the foundation, the easier it will be to achieve any future goals. Gemini. For Geminis, a time of communication, new acquaintances, and intellectual growth begins. If you previously hesitated to share your ideas with others, circumstances will now literally push you to do so. Your words acquire special power. Some will begin teaching, others will become more successful in sales, others will open their own blog or begin public speaking. Jupiter in Leo helps you speak clearly, confidently, and inspiringly. Therefore, don't be surprised if others suddenly begin to listen more attentively to your opinions. This period is also favorable for learning. Any new knowledge can quickly bring practical benefits. Short trips, useful contacts, and unexpected offers of collaboration are possible. But there is also a downside. Sometimes you may feel the urge to promise more than you can realistically deliver. Beautiful words always make an impression, but real results convince people even more. Match your promises with actions, then success will not be long in coming. Cancer. For Cancers, Jupiter's focus shifts to finances, self-esteem, and self-worth. This transit often brings increased income. Of course, money rarely appears spontaneously, but earning opportunities can indeed expand significantly. Some will be offered a new position. Some will finally decide to increase their prices. And others will realize they've been underestimating their own abilities for years. This is precisely the key lesson now. Jupiter seems to be asking, how highly do you value yourself? Indeed, it's often internal limitations that prevent a person from earning more. This period helps change your attitude toward your own talents. If you've long dreamed of monetizing a hobby, opening an additional source of income, or starting a new career, now are very favorable circumstances. But it's important to remember, increased income is often accompanied by increased expenses. You may want to live more generously, buy expensive items, or strive for a luxurious lifestyle. Try to maintain balance. True wealth begins not with spending more, but with knowing how to manage what you receive wisely. This approach will help Cancers make the most of Jupiter's favorable energy. Leo. If you're a Leo, get ready. One of the most vibrant and promising periods in recent years is about to begin. You could say the spotlight of the universe is gradually beginning to turn in your favor. This is a time when you may be more frequently noticed, appreciated, invited to new projects, and entrusted with more serious tasks. Jupiter is transiting your sign, and this is always associated with personal growth. You will want to become the best version of yourself. Some will change their image, some will decide to start their own business, some will reach a large audience for the first time, and some will finally allow themselves to dream without limits. The most interesting thing is that those around you are also beginning to see more confidence and charisma in you. Even if you previously preferred to remain in the shadows, circumstances may unexpectedly bring you to the forefront. Don't be surprised if right now you are offered a leadership position, participation in a major project, or an opportunity to prove yourself in a place where you previously hesitated to take the first step. But with this comes increased responsibility. Jupiter enhances all of Leo's qualities. If you're good at inspiring people, your ability to lead will become even stronger. However, if you tend to think your own opinion is the only correct one, this can lead to conflict. Remember, a leader's true strength lies not in proving their superiority, but in helping others to reach their full potential. This period will be especially favorable for Leos who are willing to learn new things, expand their social circle, and aren't afraid of change. Sometimes fate knocks very quietly. Don't miss this moment. Virgo. For Virgos, a period is approaching that may seem less noticeable at first glance. But it's precisely these periods that often prove to be the most profound and important. Jupiter invites you to slow down a bit. In today's world, we are constantly being told to rush, achieve, and be productive every minute. But now the universe seems to be saying, stop, look within. You might want to spend more time alone, reassess your life goals, let go of old fears, or complete projects that have been weighing heavily on you for a long time. This transit helps you heal inner experiences. Some will forgive old grievances. Some will finally let go of relationships that have long ceased to bring joy. And others will suddenly realize that they have been living the wrong life for a long time. This is also an excellent time for learning spiritual practices, meditation, psychology, creativity, or charity. Very often, it is during such periods that the most powerful ideas are born, although to others it seems like you are simply taking a break. Don't be afraid of this silence. Sometimes the biggest changes happen precisely when nothing is happening on the outside. The only thing you should avoid is the desire to completely shut yourself off from the world. Yes, rest is necessary now, but don't let solitude turn into isolation. Libra. For Libra, an amazing time of new acquaintances, big plans, and the fulfillment of dreams begins. If in recent years you've felt like you were moving alone, that's gradually changing. People who share your views may come into your life, inspire you, and help you move forward. Expanding your social circle is highly likely. New friends, new partners, new like-minded people. Sometimes one chance encounter can change your entire life. That's why it's especially important now to be around people more often, attend events, learn new things, and accept invitations. Jupiter in Leo reminds you that big goals are rarely achieved alone. Furthermore, this period is excellent for realizing long-held dreams. Perhaps you've long wanted to launch your own project, write a book, open an online school, or start doing something that truly inspires you. The energy will support such endeavors now. However, there is one catch. Sometimes the desire to please everyone can lead Libras to take on too many commitments. Don't forget your own interests. Saying no is sometimes just as important as saying yes. If you learn to choose truly meaningful projects, this period can open up entirely new horizons for you. Scorpio. For Scorpios, a time of career growth, professional achievement, and public recognition begins. One could say that Jupiter's spotlight illuminates your specific area of fulfillment. If you've worked long and hard, invested effort, and patiently moved toward your goal, the results may become especially noticeable now. Some Scorpios will be offered a promotion. Others will change careers to more promising ones. Some will start their own business. And others will finally receive the recognition they've been waiting for years. But Jupiter rarely brings success to those who do nothing. It's like revving up a moving car. So if you have ideas, take action. If you have a project, don't put it off. If you have a dream, take the first step now. It's important to remember that true success isn't measured solely by position or income level. Sometimes it's much more important to understand why you're striving for the top in the first place. During this transit, Scorpios should ask themselves more often, does what I'm striving for truly make me happy? Another important point concerns relationships with management and colleagues. Your authority will grow. People will begin to listen more closely to your opinions. Use this influence wisely. Don't try to control everything. Sometimes it's much more effective to delegate some tasks and trust your team. This approach will help you achieve impressive results without unnecessary stress. For many Scorpios, this period could be a real turning point in their careers and social lives. The main thing is not to be afraid to take responsibility, and remember that great opportunities always come with great responsibilities. Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, this transit feels especially natural. This is not surprising, as Jupiter is considered your ruling planet. When it changes sign, many Sagittarians literally feel a deep-seated desire to move forward, learn new things, and expand their horizons. If life has felt monotonous lately, now is the chance to rekindle that sense of inspiration. This is an excellent period for travel, education, learning foreign languages, pursuing a new profession, or upgrading your skills. Any knowledge you gain now can change your future far more than it seems at first glance. It's possible that fate will bring you together with people from other cities or countries. Perhaps such an encounter will be the beginning of an interesting project or even completely change the direction of your life. If you've long dreamed of moving, working with foreign partners, or trying your hand in a new field, Jupiter seems to open the door for you. But it's important to remember that big dreams require concrete action. Sometimes Sagittarians get so caught up in their ideas that they forget to put them into practice. Therefore, the main advice for this period is simple. Procrastinate less, act more. Every small step now can lead to very big results. Capricorn. For Capricorns, this period is associated with profound internal changes. At first glance, it may seem like external events are dwindling, but in reality, a serious restructuring of life priorities is beginning. Jupiter suggests looking at issues of trust, shared finances, investments, and emotional intimacy in a completely new way. Many Capricorns will be able to resolve financial issues related to loans, inheritances, family budgets, or large investments. However, something else is much more important. This transit teaches you to accept help. And for Capricorns, this can be difficult. You are used to relying only on yourself, working hard, and solving any problem on your own. But sometimes, trusting others opens doors that cannot be opened alone. A new stage in the relationship is also possible. If there is sincerity between partners, the union will become stronger. If problems have been hushed up for a long time, they may now surface and finally be resolved. Don't be afraid of honest conversations. They can make room for something much brighter. The main thing is not to try to control absolutely everything. Sometimes the best changes begin when a person allows life to surprise them a little. Aquarius. For Aquarius, Jupiter shifts the focus to relationships. And this isn't just about love. This applies to all important relationships: business, friendship, family, and professional. If you're single, the likelihood of a fateful encounter becomes significantly higher. Moreover, relationships can begin completely unexpectedly. Sometimes, just one conversation is enough to realize that you're dealing with someone who can change your life. For those already in a relationship, this is a time to strengthen their union. Many will be able to move to a new level of relationship, moving in together, starting a family, implementing a joint project, or finally learning to listen to each other. In the professional sphere, partnerships are also increasingly important. Don't try to do everything on your own. Now you can achieve much greater results together with people you trust. But there's one caveat. Jupiter has the ability to idealize others. Therefore, don't rush to completely trust someone just because their first impression was so positive. Let time reveal each person's true intentions. If you can balance openness with a healthy dose of caution, this period can bring you connections that will last for years to come. Pisces. For Pisces, Jupiter brings changes to everyday life. Some may not think this is the most exciting area, but our daily habits shape our future. Now is a very favorable time to focus on your health, review your daily routine, improve your diet, start exercising, or break habits that have long been holding you back. Work is also reaching a new level. Interesting offers, a change in responsibilities, new projects, or increased professional authority are possible. If you've been thinking about mastering modern technology, taking training, or upgrading your skills, now is the perfect time. Jupiter reminds you, big victories begin with small daily steps. It's especially important to pay attention to the balance between work and rest. Sometimes Pisces become so immersed in caring for others that they completely forget about themselves. But now the universe is asking you to change this approach. The better you take care of your own resources, the more energy you'll be able to give to others. That's why you shouldn't view self-care as selfishness. It's the foundation for future achievements. So, we've examined the influence of Jupiter in Leo on all 12 zodiac signs. You've probably noticed one important pattern. Despite the varying forecasts, the meaning of this transit is very similar for all of us. It's as if Jupiter is asking each person the same question. Are you ready to become more than you were yesterday? Some will answer this question with a new profession. Some will do it by starting a family. Some will do it by launching their own project. And some will allow themselves to believe in their own strength for the first time. This is precisely the essence of Jupiter's energy. It doesn't do the work for us. It shows us the direction. It opens doors. It helps us see opportunities that previously seemed unattainable. But only we can take the step across this threshold. It's crucial to remember that astrology doesn't deprive us of our freedom of choice. Any transit reveals trends, probabilities, and energy flows, but the final decision always remains ours. Even the most favorable period will not yield results without action. Conversely, mindfulness, persistence, and self-confidence can significantly enhance the impact of any favorable astrological events. Therefore, use this period not to expect miracles, but to create your own success story. Perhaps now is the time to take that very step you've been putting off for a long time. And who knows? Perhaps in a few months, you'll look back and realize that Jupiter's transition into Leo marked the beginning of a new chapter in your life. If you enjoyed this analysis, be sure to give it a like. This way, You'll help this video reach those who might find it useful. Write your zodiac sign in the comments. I'd be very interested to know if this forecast aligns with what's already happening in your life. Until next time, may the energy of Jupiter help you discover your talents, believe in yourself, and make this period truly happy. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any star signs.